Warning. The following show contains opinions that viewers may find offensive, complete bullshit, or otherwise may disagree with. Accordingly, the producers of Mr. Justin Ashley must insist that those viewers understand not everyone feels the same way they do, and ask they chill the fuck out. Also, there's totally spoilers. You've been warned. Alright, so it's crazy fan theory time here on Mr. Justin Ashley. What's that? You've never heard of this term before?
I'm not familiar with that term, sir.
Well, allow me to illuminate for you. A crazy fan theory, or CFT for short, is a term that myself and a friend coined some years ago to refer to ridiculous fan theories we would constantly try and pitch each other. And somehow the term just stuck, and we just kept using it. So for episode 1 of Crazy Fan Theory, I thought I would tackle one of my favorite and definitely one of the most persistent Dark Knight fan theories out there. Is the Joker in The Dark Knight actually a veteran soldier? First, let's take a look at the evidence that supports the theory. The most obvious evidence I could find in the film was all the multiple lines that seem to reference the military.
So why do they call him a Joker?
I heard he wears makeup.
Makeup?
Yeah, to scare people. You know, war paint.
If tomorrow I tell the press that, like, a gangbanger will get shot, or a truckload of soldiers will be blowing up, nobody panics.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the Joker uses the analogy of a truck of soldiers dying to make his point, but we'll dig into that more a little bit later. The other obvious evidence in the film is the visible scars on the Joker's face, which, while he does give conflicting origin stories on the scars, they could easily be from combat. Probably one of the biggest pieces of evidence that supports this theory is just the ridiculous skill set the Joker has in this film. We see that he's more than capable of handling multiple different firearms, and he doesn't just handle them, he uses them very comfortably. Who would be able to effectively fire an RPG for the first time? It's as if he's handled all of these weapons before, which implies that he might have had some sort of military training in the use of firearms. Also in this scene, he commandeers a transport truck and drives it around pretty effectively. Most people I don't think would be able to do this. I certainly couldn't jump behind the wheel of a semi and maneuver it like that. But it would make sense that he'd be comfortable operating heavy machinery if he had military training moving larger convoys like this. And for a supposedly goofy character, the Joker's pretty adept at hand-to-hand combat in this film. Then of course there is the fact that the Joker has a really extensive knowledge of explosives in this film. These are pretty complicated explosive setups that I doubt the average arsonist would have any capability of doing. But if the Joker did have military training, perhaps he has training with explosives too. And on the subject of military training, the Joker also shows he's capable of coordinating highly complex, almost tactical operations, including the bank heist at the beginning of the film, to the assault on Harvey Dent's transportation vehicle. This level of precision and planning is something you'd most likely only see in a military-type situation. The Joker also appears to have some sort of familiarity with interrogation techniques, as he handles himself pretty damn well when he comes under fire from Batman.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the neck. See?
Maybe the Joker received some sort of anti-interrogation techniques in the military? Or he was a part of an interrogation while he served? Maybe he was captured by hostiles, and the scars on his face are a result of the intense interrogation he underwent. Those are some of the more obvious pieces of evidence that support the theory. But now let's delve into some of the more analytical stuff. Another one of the more popular theories for The Dark Knight is that the film is actually an allegory for the Bush administration in the United States and its politics regarding the War on Terror. And while that might sound far-fetched, hear me out. The theories generally pose that Batman is actually a representation of George Bush. The two both share a goofy playboy public persona, and when faced with a great threat like the Joker, both take drastic action to spy on the general public that borders on unethical. The cell phone sonar system Batman creates to find the Joker is eerily reminiscent of the seemingly unlimited wiretapping resources the US government was granted by Bush's Patriot Act. Early on in the film, Aaron Eckhart's character, Harvey Dent, makes an interesting statement.
Okay, fine. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Dent's line seems to parallel the public opinion of soldiers that participated in the Iraq War, who, while supported early on, quickly faced negative public opinion, just like the war itself. Even the Joker seems to be referencing this idea in the interrogation scene.
They need you right now. But when they don't, they'll cast you out.
So is the Joker supposed to be a returned soldier that was presumed lost in combat, and returns to a society that doesn't give a shit about him, or the war he fought in? And so he snaps, donning the persona of the Joker, an agent of anarchy and chaos, whose sole purpose is to destroy and tear down the same establishments and policies that led to him and others being sent overseas? But wait, something doesn't quite fit right here. If Batman is a representation of George Bush, then the Joker couldn't be the US soldier in this scenario. George Bush didn't go up against his own soldiers. He was up against the terrorist threat of Osama bin Laden. So if Batman represents George Bush, then the Joker must actually represent the terrorist threat.
Should we give in to this terrorist's demands?
The grand acts of destruction the Joker commits, including blowing up several civilian buildings and even a hospital, are definitely acts of terrorism. He even uses his own followers in suicide missions, similar to how terrorists employ suicide bomber tactics. The Joker's extreme measures are eerily similar to the extreme measures taken by terrorist regimes like ISIS. Now, this is not to say that the Joker could have been an ex-soldier and is now a terrorist in Gotham, but there's one issue with that as well. When the Joker gets caught, they clearly state that they run his prints and DNA through the system and turn up 0 results.
No matches on prints, DNA, dental, clothing is custom, no labels. Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint. No name, no other alias.
If, in fact, the Joker were a soldier of some sort, then wouldn't his prints definitely turn up something in the system? Wouldn't they immediately be like, oh Jesus, he's in the service. This is First Lieutenant Napier or whatever. Even if the Joker was declared dead in combat, his prints or DNA would likely turn up something. But this can also work for the theory. Looking back at all those skill sets I listed for the Joker earlier, if you think about it, a regular infantry soldier wouldn't have that level of training. The training the Joker possesses seems much more specialized. So maybe the Joker was part of some covert Black Ops unit that erased all records of its agents for security or something. That would explain why the police are unable to find any record of the Joker in any system, because the records were never there. Or they just wouldn't have the necessary security clearance to view them. So which is it? Is the Joker a soldier, a terrorist, neither, or something completely else? Well, that's up to you, the viewer, to decide. Everyone's viewing experience is unique, and that's what makes film analysis fun. My opinion is that the theory is well supported and holds a lot of weight. So on my completely non-official and unbinding review scale, I rate this crazy fan theory 9 out of 10 stars, earning it a rating of near flawless reasoning. That's it for this episode, but let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did you agree with my evidence? Do you disagree? Or what other evidence did you find of your own? As well, if there are any other crazy fan theories you want me to analyze and look at, please comment below. You never know, they might show up in a future episode.
Igor, Jemenech, Noke, Spuk.